Welcome to episode 3 of the Druid True First Life series. In this episode, I'm going to be doing Elite Garrison's Missing Pack. Before I do that, I want to talk about some things. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I'm really getting into it. One of the things that I've done to really that is really setting the mood, is that I've turned the music and the DM narration on, and I have had those off for years. So hearing those things again, sort of for the first time in years, is really making me feel like a noob, which is exactly what I wanted for this series. So that part of it's been really cool too. Um, so I'm level 4. I'm 3 ranks into 4. I finished up Korthos. Um, I've done a handful of harbor quests. So let's talk about where I am in terms of gear and everything. On the feat side, I picked up Extend Spell. I think I had that last episode. On the skill side, I'm not probably not even going to mention these again in the series, because I'm just going to be choosing the skills that I mentioned in my build posts. And so I'm going to be putting as many ranks in balance as I can, but the priorities are concentration and heal and intimidate, and spellcraft is huge, and then a point of tumble and UMD. I'll put more in UMD if I can afford it later, but I may not be able to on this first lifer. Let's see. I picked up a point of wisdom at level 4. And on the spell side, I guess jump. I'm not sure which one. I think jump is my new one for this level. And then for my level 2 spells, I have bull strength and creeping cold. I need to get rid of this creeping cold because I'm really just using the SLA right now. And then bark skin. I really need to change that out. Let's see. For my wolf, I don't even have a collar for him yet. I haven't been able to find one. I actually have one waiting for level 5. This is pretty cool. It has 2d6 chaos damage and deception 1, but nothing that I found yet. But I did get him this armor. I'm basically giving them the hand-me-down armors. As I'm finding better armor for myself, I'm giving my wolf the one I was using. So the wolf is proficient in the same kind of armors that I can wear. So I want to get him in medium armor as fast as possible, but this is all I have so far. On the enhancement side, I took Cunning Wolf 2 and Wolf Instincts 2. Let's take a look at the gear. You can see I still don't have my gear filled out. Now, before I mention the gear, actually, I wanted to say that I started day 2. This is just day 2 for me. I started day 2 with 130,000 plat. My goal was to get 100,000 plat, and I exceeded that, so it was really awesome. And that may not sound like much, and it's not much if you're an experienced player. You've played a long time, but when you're a total noob, like I am on this server, 100,000 plat is huge. I mean, that's way more than I had right away on my last True First Life series. But I've been leveraging the collectibles. Every collectible I find, I'm looking to see, like, is it a rare? Is it an uncommon? Is it used in a sought-after Cane of Crafting recipe? And then I've been pricing them accordingly, selling them for 5,000-10,000 each, or, in stacks accordingly. And, if I find any random gear that I can post, I've been doing that. I found, I've raided the pawn shops in the harbor, in House K, House D. I found a few items with slots on them, so I took them right to the crafting hall. I disjuncted them, turned them into crafting blanks with slots on them, and I've been posting them for 35k, 50k, 75k each. And when I came back today, I had 130,000 plat waiting for me in my mailbox. So that was just gigantic in terms of getting me some basic gear. So like having all these potions. I mean, these are just essential. These are must-haves, and I'll have 100 stack all these soon. But right now, I can't afford that. But lesser restoration, blindness removal, neutralize poison, remove disease, curse removal. If you followed my series in the past, I've talked about these in the first episodes. Those 5 potions are essential for everybody right through endgame at all times you got to have them, unless for some reason, you know, maybe you have blindness immunity and then you don't need those, for example. But other than that, I mean, you got to have these things. Don't expect a healer in your group to remove your curse or remove your disease or your poison or something like that. That's your responsibility. You got to have these potions. And I also bought 100 stack of Cure Serious Wounds. Also huge in terms of self-healing right through single-digit levels. Potions of Cure Serious Wounds are a lifesaver. So pick some of those up too. I'm going to keep these in my inventory so every video I can show you I have not touched these freebies. I guess I can take the Lesser Heart out of here so it's not clogging up my inventory space. Maybe I will use it. I can't see a reason why I'd use the Lesser Heart, but I get it out of here. And these Potions of Death Ward I just got from I think the gold roll on day one. When I finished Misery's Peak, I got my Archivist necklace. I got my first spell point clicky. I mean, the Archivist necklace is just such a little treasure for a newbie. You know, you just cut a couple clicks of 10 to 35 spell points. I still have this on all my toons. I mean, I love the Archivist necklace. I might not use it as much anymore because I have much better ones on my main toons on my main server, but I still keep it. I don't ditch that thing. I'm loyal to it. And I have a few items here waiting for level 5, Wizardry 30, Potency 31, that Companion Collar, a Scimitar with Combustion, and just a cloak. You know, I mean, that's just a situational cloak. It had Fire Absorption. I thought I'd hang on to it in case you know, maybe an STK when I run into the fire traps or something. Alright, so let's see what I do have. Most of this stuff is just whatever I could find. So I got Evocation, Focus 1, and Deadly on the goggles. I found some medium armor. This is really cool. You know, when they redid the randomly generated loot system a couple updates ago, they added hide armor back into the random loot gen tables, which is awesome for Druid because, you know, Druids didn't really... You know, Druids are proficient in medium armor, but hide armor is the only, you know, like low-level armor there is available. So it's really great that you could find randomly generated medium armor again that's not metal that a Druid can use. So this has Thorn Guard on it, and actually I have Thorn Guard there and on the boots, and that's been really valuable to chew down. You know, if I get a group of mobs around me, that has made a significant difference. You know, as they're beating on me, they're just getting beat on right back automatically. So as soon as I hit level 4, I made it a priority to hit the House Caneth challenges, and it was all I had to do was Circles of Power to get the ingredients for this. This is a huge item. It's the most important Caneth challenge item for a Druid caster, and really this is good for any caster who does electrical damage. But I love it for the Druid. It has permanent blur on it. Huge, especially valuable for my newbie first lifer here. Magnetism 54, Lightning Lore 8. I'm not even casting electrical spells yet, but I will next level when I get Call Lightning, and that's, you know, level 5 is going to be really where things start to ramp up and start in terms of the casting power. So this is a really awesome item. I just had to have it, so you know I was able to just run 4 Circles of Power and get enough ingredients to get this. It's only 2 different ingredients, and one of them comes from Circles of Power, and one of them came from another challenge, but I didn't want to do it. It was one of the Kobold Island ones. But I could trade the ones I was getting from Circles of Power at a rate of 2 to 1 to get the talismans that were needed. So, again, 4 runs of Circles of Power, and I got my Braces of Wind. Hell yeah. So this is the only piece of gear that I'm like, I was going for specifically this. Beautiful item. Highly recommend it. I mean, just a must-have for the Druid, in my opinion, for the Druid caster. I found this ring on the auction house for dirt cheap. It's just a yellow slot up with feather falling. But I mean, a ring with the slot right now, with new Caneth crafting, they're going for like 100,000 plat. And I found this for like 5K on the auction house. So, I mean, even when I'm done with this, I can turn around and resell it for a lot more than I bought it for. But I wanted to have a feather falling item, so this was just perfect. So boots, dexterity 2, Thorn Guard 1, just something I found that was useful. Again, with the gloves, just something that was useful. Double shot is meaningless to me. It's got heal lamp 6. It's better than literally nothing. As soon as I find something better, I will replace that. Still got the stupid straw hat from Korthos. And Con 2, Devotion 46 necklace. So that's actually pretty good for this level. I mean, Uh, Devotion helps the healing spells. 2 points of con. Hell yeah, I'll take it. On the shield, I've got the Dakani shield I found super cheap at the auction house. So this is just a silly Lobi shield. It's got false life 5, shield bonus 5. And then this was the best scimitar I could find. It's got D6 fire damage and deadly 1 on it. So just best I could come up with. You know, and these 4 empty slots, like, it's not for trying. Like, I've been looking in the auction house, I've been looking in the pawn shops, but I just haven't found anything. You know, I'm at that point where everything is valuable. I'm hitting every breakable. You know, if something drops out of the breakable, I'm like, oh, you know, is this something I can use? Is this something I can sell? Please let it have a slot, you know? So I'm still there. Um, but again, just having tons of fun with this. All right. Enhancements. So I'm over, you know, I've got rid of this Nature's Warrior stuff. That was fun to use for the first few levels, and you know, and the aggravate with the DR6 was really awesome. But I'm over here with the Season's Herald now. I've got my Produce Flame SLA. I've got my Creeping Cold SLA. I mean, the Creeping Cold SLA is giant. You know, these I can't, you know, the SLAs, you can apply meta magics for free. So, you know, even with Maximize on, you know, my Creeping Cold SLA is only 3 spell points, okay? And my Produce Flame is only 3 spell points. So it's a maximized Creeping Cold, 3 spell points. That right there, one casting of that is going to kill any mob at this level. A little bit longer of a cooldown. I'm not even using the regular version of the spell. But, you know, it's a kind of like a fire and forget spell. I can hit a mob with it and just keep moving, knowing that it's going to be dead after a few ticks in a few seconds. So. And then I also have the Wax and Wane here. So this is crit chance. It says for spells associated with my current season. So what does that mean? If you're a total newbie, you're new to Druid, it's got a quirky mechanism that when you pick up Season's Herald, this very first innate starts applying a season to you, and it appears in the form of this buff up here. You can see right now it says Druid of Summer, and this is going to alternate every 5 minutes between winter and summer. And, you know, during one season, so during the summer season, let's see if it says right down here. Yeah, so when summer is active, you have +5 spell power when casting fire, light, sonic, and positive spells. While winter is active, you have +5 spell power when casting cold, water, acid, earth, and electrical spells. This seasonal spell power is multiplied by 1 for every innate enhancement possessed in Season's Herald. So up to +30 when you have all 6 innate. I also have the tier 2 +1 caster level for spells in my appropriate season. So the next big thing is going to be the Call Lightning. I mean, once I get Call Lightning, I'm going to start one-shotting mobs. Boom! It's like it. I mean, at this level, it's like an insta-kill. And right up through like teen levels, you know, as long as, you know, if they're not making their save, you know, it's going to be one-shotting a lot of mobs. So really awesome. I love Call Lightning. We're not there yet. Alright, let's do the damn quest. Scavenger's Warren. I'm going to pull out the hyena. Myself with Long Strider, Bull Strength, Jump, and Bark Skin. I'm going to hit my pet with Bull Strength and Bark Skin, and the hyena with Bull Strength and Bark Skin, leave me with jack shit for mana. I'm going to go ahead and use my Archivist Necklace right now. But that's okay, because really, I'm going to be using my SLAs of Produce Flame and Creeping Cold. They're 3 spell points each, and I'm going to be using an unmaximized Lesser Vigor at 6 spell points for maintenance healing, and then, you know, if I need a bigger heal on myself, I'm going to drink a potion to cure serious wounds. So, right now, my spell points primarily for buffing. And then whatever's left, I'm going to use SLAs. So I started keeping a, like, basically more or less a journal of my experiences, and I'm going to post that. I'm going to have a companion thread, but it's not going to be a separate post in the Druid form because I don't want to have two different, posts used up from my, from my build. So I'm just going to post it within my own build thread, and then I'll link to it in the original post. Every breakable. It's important. So there's Creeping Cold. Third tick, dead. Actually, I think the wolf might have got the killing blow, but it was going to die in the third tick. That much we can be sure of. Deadly Fever Blanche. That's going to go right on the auction house. That's one that's not only used in Caneth crafting, but is also used in, like, I think one of the force rituals for the Stone of Change. When you're fighting oozes, switch to wolf form, and you're not going to damage your weapons. Same with rust monsters. You're not going to damage your weapons when you fight them in wolf form. Here's Creepy Cold. Let it do its thing. Boom. Third tick. Great for hitting casters. I'm going to hit that caster and run away because I don't want to get hit by a scary lightning bolt. Oh, see that? I'm telling you, when you don't have ship buffs, when you don't have twink gear, this shit is scary. That makes me feel like a noob. Man, I remember being a noob. Like, you're in, like, waterworks, and those bastard casters are hitting you with their lightning bolt, and you're like, oh my god, I'm dead. One lightning bolt. I sound like a really squishy wizard back then, but still, it's bringing back all these scarring memories. Collectible, essential, page torn from a researcher's notebook. Those have been selling pretty well. I've been selling those like 5,000 each. I fully intend to be well over, probably in the area of 500,000 or 250,000 plat on day 3, at the beginning of day 3. When you get a big group, don't be afraid to turtle up, okay? The DR that you're getting from blocking with your shield is going to be huge, and like right now I've got those guards, and that's going to help tear them up. So if your sort of instinct is to, if you're new, your instinct is to sort of run away if you see a big group and you feel like you're taking some hits. But if you turtle up with your shield, that can be really huge. And you can sort of cast spells while you're turtled up. Especially when you start getting your AoEs, like at level 7, you're going to get Ice Storm. Oh man, that's a game changer right there, level 7 Ice Storm. You'd be smoking armies with that. Can I find this thing? Hell yeah, it's the newbie Lobby quest. Ooze, we're going to change to wolf form. And then right back. That wolf form hotkey. Looking for everything here. I haven't even started the, I need to make a trailer for this, like a teaser. I haven't even started it yet. I've taken some video for it, but I haven't started putting it together yet. So I need to do that. So I want to get this series going. Today is November 15th. So this video probably won't even get posted until like the end of November. So I'm posting my essences too, my Caneth crafting essences. But I'm just gonna, I think what I'm gonna do is just post them at the end of each day. There's a quirky thing with certain things for whatever reason that you can't post a buyout, and Caneth essences are like that. So I don't want to, you know, post a bunch of 10 stacks. I just, at the end of the day, I'll post whatever I have. You can only post so much stuff in the auction house, and you don't want it to be taken up by a bunch of small stacks of essences. You know, one of the things that I in this sort of journal that I'm keeping is, you know, I talk about how so many people didn't give Druid a chance when it first came out in 2012. Druids are so much different than traditional casters, and, you know, people played them for a few levels, and there's like, oh, these are lame, you know, my wizard's better, my sork's better. But as I've said so many times, your casting power doesn't even ramp up to level 5. And so, you know, until then, you're mostly just meleeing. You know, I'm throwing some creeping cold right now, but that's about it. Throwing some buffs. And then, even at level 5, you know, you basically just got the one trick of Call Lightning. But creeping cold is, you know, highly valuable too. But you really got to appreciate that Druids, you know, they're a hybrid, and that's one of the reasons why you know, I do this like sort of quasi-tank thing going on, because, you know, you can benefit from being a heavier armor wearing kind of a toon as opposed to like a traditional caster who's wearing, you know, like robes and stuff. I guess nobody's wearing robes these days, but you know what I mean. Let's not make a thing about it. You know, I should probably use that shrine. Humor me. But yeah, you really gotta come to appreciate Druid and sort of, you know, it's a different playstyle, it's a different philosophy than a traditional caster. And if you don't leverage that difference, if you don't leverage the fact that they're a hybrid, then you're probably going to be disappointed. You know, and some of the ways that you can leverage that, like wearing the heavier armor, using, you know, going sword and board, using the shield, getting the benefits, the defensive benefits of using a shield, as opposed to like using a staff or maybe dual wielding like a traditional caster would. The traditional caster is not going to be, you know, typically not going to be immersing themselves in, you know, tactical situation or, you know, in combat. But that's the difference, is that, you know, I get in the middle of combat and fight, you know, in the middle of my own personal hurricane. One of the funny things is that, you know, I've been doing everything on Elite, and let me show you where I'm at in terms of quest progress. You see, I've got all the Gorthos done here, and just haven't done all the 2s yet, and I won't even be able to get to them on the first lifer. I'll be, you know, to level 5 before I finish the 2s, and the 2s, of course, on Elite are level 4. That's how I'm doing the Elite 2s at level 4, because an Elite 2 is level 4. But doing these quests on Elite is producing gear beyond my level range in the end reward. So I'm getting all this stuff in the end rewards that I can't even use. But for some quests like Ringleader and Haberdasher, I did those on like Elite, Hard, and Normal. And, you know, on my end reward list for my my Hard and Normal runs, that was producing the stuff I could use. And I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome, you know. Damn Elite runs, I'm like, I can't use this for 2 levels. And here I am getting excited because, I find a scimitar with like D6 fire on it, or, a set of hide armor. Like, this is what's exciting to me at this point in the series. Pick out that caster, hit the caster with Creeping Cold. And then get the hell out of the way of his frickin' lightning bolt. What's the produce flame hitting for these days? I just hit one earlier for 47. 53. So I almost one-shot him with produce flame. And that's another thing I wrote about in my little journal, is how, and I have it in my build post too, but produce flame is a spell that a lot of people just laugh off. And because it's so slow, that it just feels like you can't hit anything. But you gotta appreciate how to use it. You don't want to use it on mobs that are like moving around really quick, because it is going to miss. But a stationary mob that's up on a ledge, or when you're here fighting, meleeing close quarters, you hit and it just goes right by him. I think maybe I didn't have him targeted. But you're meleeing a dude, and you hit him with your produce flame when he's right in front of you. See, I always got to look at what I'm finding. Like, what is this stuff? Might be able to use it. Nope. Every treasure chest is exciting. Gotta go to the other side, because gotta get that chest. Oh, he's not here. Sad. Keep an eye on your wolf's health. Hit him with a little vigor. Good to go. I've loved Druids for a long time, and they were my favorite pen and paper class. And what started me playing Druids is, we were in a group and we didn't have a healer. And my DM was like, "Oh, and I didn't want to play a cleric, but I want to help the group out." And he's like, "Have you ever thought about Druid?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, why don't you take a look at him?" And so I was reading about him, and I thought, okay, I'll give it a try. And I just loved that I was able to do so much on the Druid. Defensive casting, healing, offensive casting, summoning. I just felt like a little bit of melee. Whatever I wanted to do, I felt like I could do. And I really loved playing the Druid as a summoner. I loved summoning monsters. On pen and paper, you can summon, up to D4+1 mobs at a time, and you can position them wherever you want to. So I would love to cast groups of animals, and lions or wolves or whatever, and then place them in combat in front of the enemy mobs as basically a form of crowd control. Because when the enemy mobs are beating on your summons and not your party members, that goes a long ways. Well, that is it for episode 3. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube. If If you have questions about my build, you can respond in the Druid forum, and if you're on Sarlona, you're welcome to send me a tell.